is when she completely let loose.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you. I will. I just don't like the whole, ability difference in this movie. I like Mystique. I don't like how they portrayed her. I don't like how they portrayed Storm as this extremely powerful being.
Storm is freaking incredibly powerful,
yes,
though.
But it's earned. I don't think, with her age and all that, ultimately she should be as powerful as she is right now. So I feel like they've done that wrong.
And again, though, her powers were magnified by Apocalypse. Her powers were just a little when it started,
and that's how I would have liked it.
They did take at least part of her actual origin story, because at least in one version of the Storm origin story, she does, start off as a street rat, so to speak, who goes up and steals.
I got no problem with that. Like, I'm actually happy to see that origin, for Storm. The powerfulness, I wasn't impressed on. Now, Magneto, not surprised.
Magneto, I mean, honestly...
That definitely, because he didn't get his powers magnified. He was just told of how to embrace his powers.
Because Magneto gets, the Earth's magnetic field itself would go off and would help, feed them and charge him. Yeah. So, I mean, absolutely, if he knew exactly what he was going to do, what he was going to tap into, he was going to be, almost unstoppable. I loved this movie for his story alone, simply because it really, showed how sad, he was. I mean, he finally went off and, found peace, only for that to be taken away from him. And so, I mean, he was, this version of Magneto that they have developed is really a very tragic figure.
Oh, and I'm happy to see that, because, it has, shown how his powers, grow and all that. I don't like the flip-floppy. I'd at least like to see a little bit of dark side at the end still show, rather than, very weak, dejected Magneto.
It'll be interesting to see. I think at the end of the movie, what we're really seeing is Magneto is going off to try to heal, I guess. I'm not really sure how a better way to go off and really describe it. I am kind of interested to see where they go. It looks like the next step in the Xmen universe, cinematic universe, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be Gambit, if they ever finish the damn movie.
That's a complicated thing.
And I'm really kind of curious what they're going to do with Hugh Jackman's final Wolverine movie.
There are two things that come to mind right now of what I am curious on. One of them being a very good thing that I found in the movie, but also a very bad thing I found in the movie, which is Psylocke.
Psylocke,
I feel like I was really excited to see her. I've always been a fan of her character. I feel that they really dropped the ball on her. They really didn't give her the limelight that such a character deserves.
Agreed.
I think there was so much more they could have done with such a very important character, and especially since she was the first one. Well, second to join the Four Horsemen. So
I'm very curious about this, because it kind of ticks me off. Just the fact that obviously they needed to kill Apocalypse off, I guess. But I've said this multiple times. I hate when they go off and kill off the villains.
I feel that they shouldn't have. I think, it opens up a lot of doors, right? And not just, having Apocalypse come back, but, the worshippers of Apocalypse. And, maybe having Apocalypse even, asleep or whatever, underground, maybe it encourages more powers to appear or to grow. There's so much possibility they could have done. The other thing that I am kind of on the fence on, what I thought was Quicksilver.
Well, it was Quicksilver.
It was. No. But I'm not sure what side of the fence I stand on of what my opinion on it was.
He was by far, I think, one of the most entertaining figures on the show.
I definitely think so. But at the same point, it kind of seemed to fizzle out of what his importance coming
it was
forward
kind
is.
of weird because you could tell they're trying to do some foreshadowing for future episodes. They didn't come out and have Quicksilver go off and say to Apocalypse, "Hey, I'm your son."
No, not Apocalypse.
Or pardon me, Magneto. To Magneto say, "I'm your father. I'm your son." Because obviously they wanted to go off and to use that in future movies.
Oh, I agree.
So the one thing I was very interested in, though, is we see, we see the Phoenix and Jean Grey, and there's something Apocalypse goes off and says, and I don't remember the line, but something along like, "Oh, it's all become so clear to me," as if he has been waiting for the Phoenix to arrive. And maybe she is going to fill the void that Apocalypse did. I don't know. I mean, it's in the comic book world, the Phoenix was this alien entity that takes over Jean Grey's body, and so, but in the movies so far, the Phoenix is just this untapped part of her that she tries to go off into control, and ultimately, if they go back to what they did, in X-Men Last Stand, becomes this really villainous character.
Yeah, no, and obviously there's lots that we can say about this movie, and we definitely have. Yes, it's not the greatest movie. No, I probably wouldn't see it again. But yes, it does open up so many doors of possibility.
And that is, and if done right, it would be really great. I want to go back to that one line though, about how the third movie is always the worst, and and it's almost in every single time, in the situation where the third one's always turns out to be the worst.
Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer, which ultimately has been the end fall of the Fantastic Four franchise, because everything comes...
that technically was the second movie in that franchise. Which then got rebooted, so the third one, which was technically a reboot, but still was the third movie, was just epically terrible. Yeah,
so
my head really hurts too much. Even
Star Wars also follows that.
Return of the Jedi was really good, but it did fall short a lot after Empire Strikes Back. There's no doubt Empire Strikes Back is probably the single greatest movie that George Lucas had anything to do with, other than maybe the Indiana Jones
X-Men has now followed this twice.
Yeah,
both of the third movies.
Technically two trilogies. And so both the trilogies have ended in disaster. And, it's kind of seems to be following the pattern where in X-Men 2 and then X-Men Days of Future Past were the second movie of the franchise, and were the better movies of the franchise, or the trilogies.
Oh, I completely agree.
So you could go down. You can go to Shrek the Third, just how terrible that movie was.
Yes.
Raiders of the I can't say that with Indiana Jones, the Last Crusade, because I honestly thought the Last Crusade might have been the best movie of that series. But that's just my own personal preference, I suppose.
So, but I think we should, pretty much bring this show to a close, unfortunately.
So, before we go off and turn into a terrible third part of a trilogy ourselves, which, you know what? I can't believe that we haven't even discussed this. If you've followed us on Facebook, then you are well aware that this past Sunday, June the 5th, was our 1 year anniversary.
Yes, it was our 1 year. I can't believe I forgot to mention that, but hey, we got pictures up in there. Definitely
absolutely.
Very popular. Some merchandise stuff, lots of posts, lots of new followers. I've been busy. This weekend I have Swords and Sabers that I will be going to in St. Vital Park.
Tomorrow night, I'm going to go see a event with Jimmy the Mouth of the South Heart here in Winnipeg. He's going to be telling stories about his time in the world of professional wrestling. Probably going to talk at least a little bit about Bret the Hitman Hart as well as Hulk Hogan. Probably the two biggest names that he's ever managed and his long, illustrious career. I can't wait to hear some of his stories. If I can remember it, I might go off and bring it up when we come back in 7 days.
Yeah, tomorrow I will be catching up on Game of Thrones because that is where I am at. So yeah, Swords and Sabers on Saturday.
You probably will see me there for at least a little bit.
That should be entertaining. July 9th is the next UFC event, so I will be I potentially might be hosting it along with my buddy there from Smack Combat. I'm really plugging a show today.
You really are.
But
we really
kind of have to.
We absolutely. We should get him to become like an official sponsor of a show.
Oh, I think the fact that I'm helping him work with his stuff, and with us both doing our UFC stuff, we've technically, without saying words, have become sponsors of each other in some weird twisted world. But whatever. Big news on that UFC front. So pretty much for the foreseeable future, I will be part of those events at the Tavern United, which is a wonderful hosting ground.
And I'm probably going to be spending a ton of time in front of my computer writing about fake wrestling. So
and I will be watching blood spill.
So guys, we thank you once again for listening. Thank you for those people who have been following us for the last year. Thank you so much,
Yeah, what the hell is wrong with you?
We ask ourselves this every single day.
Oh, I wake up in the morning. God dang it, I'm working again tonight. No, I love this.
This is probably one of my favorite nights of the week. Just because.
Hell, I go too much. I don't know what day of the week it is anymore. Look at my phone going, is it Tuesday? Is it Monday?
The only day of the week that I'm certain of anymore is Tuesdays. Every other day just seems to kind of bleed together.
Yeah. Thursdays.
Thursdays, so we do need the one last plug.
Yes, this Thursday, what was previously known as SOS has now been rebranded as the Nerd Officials, which tapes Mondays, airs Thursdays, with Darth Panda as co-host. We're doing that twice a month now, and it gets entertaining. We had technical difficulties on our airing last night, so it'll be a little spotty here and there, but that will be fixed by our next airing.
This is nice, just for the simple fact that, now I know it's not me, it's you.
No, it's a certain program that we use for our phone calls and that. It's not exactly the best quality. I've tested out on multiple people, and it continues to cut out, very regularly. So I will be upgrading my phone service and other lovely pastime-y thingies, and yeah.
Awesome sauce!
I'm going to be running myself into the ground over the next couple months.
Anyways, guys, thank you again for listening.
Yes, thank you.
You know what? Before we go, though, of course, we need to go off and plug our social media. Shameless plugs.
So you can follow me, Captain Fizz. So it's at real CAPT Fizz. Shut up.
I haven't said it
Tired.
yet. You can follow this local fellow at That Masked Guy. Follow the show at Fizz Masked Show. Fizz Masked Show. I'm getting everything tied. Scrambled up. You can go off and just go to our website www.fizzmaskshow.com. We have the first 52 episodes of the podcast up on there. So if you want to go back and listen to some of our older episodes, by all means. It also has a link to all 3 Twitter accounts that we've just mentioned. Plus, it also gives you a link to our Facebook page. And while you're on Facebook, again, you can go off and you can see all the lovely pictures that we went up and posted to celebrate our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, and do the captain a favor. Follow me on Instagram. It's CAPT_Fizz. I need more followers. I've got a contest going on. There's a guy who believes I cannot catch him up by within a month. I have gained almost 10 followers today alone. So I am now within 65 to 70 of his number with much more than a month left to go.
Awesome. So you know what? A lot of exciting things is going down, but it's time for us to go. So in the meantime and in between time, I say good night, God bless, and may the Force be with you.
And as always, stay frosty and keep your stick on the ice.
Good night, everybody! And just